Hello folks, I wanted to share with you something I made from the Steampunk Graphic 45 paper, and I have it on my blog, donnamarie.typepad.com, but you know, sometimes it's nice to see it in 3D, not in a flat photo, so I thought I would share it with you. First of all, I'm going to take the cards out for a minute. I started with a plain tissue box. So this was a big square, you can see the size of it here, one of those oblong tissue boxes, the kind that sit like this and then you pull the tissues out. I cut it, you can see I cut it on an angle to give it a little more shape, and I really needed to, because they're so flimsy, I really needed to make it a little bit more stable to hold my cards that I'm putting in there. So I decided that I was going to first I painted the box black. I painted the entire box black, and then I used Bottle, that's the color, Bottle from Tim Holtz's paint collection, and I cut chipboard that was just a little bit smaller than the sides of the box, and I painted it in Bottle. You can see the green on the edge, and then I placed some of the Graphic 45 paper on top of that. And I did that to all of the sides. So there's the back. So it's nice and solid. And then there is the other side. And then there is the front. Now, I also did it on the inside. So you can see there is the Bottle painted chipboard on the inside. Obviously I didn't put paper in there, but the two pieces of chipboard glued, I used zip dry, glued together on with the tissue box flimsiness on the inside really gives it a nice, it's nice and sturdy, it's not going anywhere, it holds up really well. And you can see there's the bottom of the tissue box that I left black. You can see there's that little, you know, it sits like that. So, and right here is that plastic part where the tissues come out. So if you put the chipboard on the front and then you put it on the back and you glue them together, that disappears on the inside, and it's nice and sturdy. It's not going anywhere. I added Tim Holtz's God, I forget what these are called. The little screw divot things that screw together to hold the corners together. I thought they were kind of interesting. And then some of the paper from the I got a 12 by 12 pack of the Steampunk paper from Graphic 45, and I trimmed out the flowers, and you can see, I don't know if you can see it, that I layered them up. So I cut some of the flowers out, I cut the butterflies out, and I layered them up and added them on and glued them on the front. So there is that. The leather pieces you see here are pretty cool. They're from American Craft. They're thickers, and they're ancient. I've had them in my stash for, oh God, I think about 4 or 5 years. I finally pulled them out and I'm like, oh, they'll go perfect with this, and I finally used them. So it's always good to have a stash. It's always good to have stuff stored aside so when you need it, you can pull it out and you can use it. Alright, this is great because it doesn't tip, it doesn't fall over, it's nice and sturdy. I love it. And I made cards to go on the inside. This was the first card I made, and once again this is chipboard with paper layered on it. There's another leather piece. This, believe it or not, is a tab, and this is the Tim Holtz little mini dies. I don't want the glare to get it. This is the movers and shapers, and it's the 2 dies. I don't even know what they call it. They don't call them anything, I don't think, the little mini dies. And you can see the shapes are in the back there. And what I did was I cut them out of chipboard and paper, and I folded it in half. So you can see when the chipboard gets folded, the paper obviously is on the outside and it doesn't meet it, but that's alright. I gave a little color in the back there. It's okay. And it's nice and sturdy. I really, really, really like it. And this is, I used a small little envelope, and the flap to the envelope is in between these 2 pieces of paper, so I made myself a little flap. And then on the inside is a pull-out. And this is, believe it or not, this is a primer. You can see it on the back. is a Prima card that holds the flowers that you purchase. I don't like to throw these out. I think they're so pretty. I like the edges. I like the the roughness of it. I think it's really pretty. And it sits in there nicely and pulls out nicely. And there's the first card. I left the back plain because I'd like to put photos on the back. So the front here has a spot for journaling and photos, and then a spot on the back also. I haven't decided which photos I'm gonna put on here yet. So I left the backs mostly plain. This is the next card, and I really wanted a lot of spots for photos, so I created this little trifold. It opens this way and then opens that way, and it gets glued right onto the chipboard that was painted in that bottle green. And didn't put too much on the inside because I don't know again which photos I'm going to be using. But the front, I really wanted it nice and decorative. This is the Tim Holtz trim that you purchase, and it's all white, and you can color it any color you want. And I used the liquid distress ink, the liquid, in the bottles, and I just dabbed it on. I used marmalade, and I used, I think, forest green. And I dabbed it on, and it sucked up the color beautiful, and I let it dry, and there you go. I just glued it on. Isn't that pretty? I added some pearls and some stickles. You all know I love stickles. And it's all about the layering. Love, you know me, I love to layer. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's foam tape in here. These are Tim Holtz's metal flowers that I painted. And I added those on. And this is all graphic 45 paper. So that's a nice spot for adding photos. And then the cards, because I wanted them on an angle stacking up, the cards get a little bigger. This is the next biggest one, and I love this card. I know most of you know that I teach fashion design, so to me I love this paper. It was all about women and fashion and dressing, and it was super cool, so I really wanted to emphasize that. And one of the papers had this great image of the old-time corsets on there, and I don't know if you can see it, but I layered it up. So the first one I cut out was the full piece, and then the second one I cut out was just the woman with the corset, and I layered it with foam tape. It's one of Tim Holtz's little metal pieces. Another tab, which is great. I made it the same exact way with chipboard and paper, folded it and glued it on. Another one of the butterflies from the paper that I layered up, and this is a Prima flower. You all know I love Prima flowers. And then one of Tim Holtz's metal little tabs there. And once again, the back is plain. This one I did put a little paper on it. I liked the paper, so I added it on. And I made one of Tim's little tissue paper flowers. I wanted something flatter on the back because I have a lot of dimension on the front. So there's that card. This is the next one. Loved this image of this woman, this Victorian dressed woman. Loved her with the top hat. She was awesome. So I cut out the first image, and then once again I cut out her glove, her bodice, a little bit of the bodice here, and the hat and the face, and I layered that one up. And then I added, once again, a leather piece from American Craft. I made one of these flowers from Sizzix. Absolutely love these flowers. That's this one here, which is totally, totally cool. The pieces are in there to make this flower, and a lot of people find it difficult, but I don't. I think it's a lot of fun. Added one of Tim's clocks with the spinners on there, and metal, and another Prima flower. Super cool. I love the way this one came out. Love all the layering. And once again, the back is plain. I'll decide what I want to do with the back later. So that one goes in there, and you can see how they all just angle up nicely. This is the last one, and absolutely loved this paper, and I wanted it to be the focus of the card. So I cut out Tim Holtz's gears, added paper to them, and then I added some clear clocks faces, which I think are from Heidi Swapp. They're ancient. I got those out of my stash too. And then I put Tim's spinners on there. A key from Tim Holtz, another one of the flowers from Sizzix, Prima flower. And that's it, folks. That's it. The back is plain. These are all chipboard, so they're nice and sturdy, painted. And that's it. That's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making this. And I cannot wait until I fill it up with my particular photos. I haven't chosen them yet. I have so many to choose from. I don't know if I'm going to go antique photos, the old time ones, or if I'm going to go modern and sepia tone. I haven't decided yet. But when I do, I will show it off and show it to you. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.